Alright everybody, welcome back to the channel. On today's video we're going to be doing a very important step of spring clean in the 911. Now you're going to ask instantly, why are you doing it so late into May? Traditionally in the UK we don't get pretty much any sun. It's always raining, and it has been known that sometimes there is very late snowfall tail end of April, early May. So traditionally when you think May, spring, I like to give it that chance to get the weather, to get it past, maybe a nice few heavy rainfalls to actually bring that salt and everything from kind of winter or the tail end of winter up in the roads, let it get washed away. At least then you are not doing a spring clean. It then rains everywhere. It brings, if you actually know how that works, it dries, then it rains, it brings everything to the top. I'm going to be down the motorway or the highway, and then you're back to kind of square one. So I always wait, that's my tradition. The last 2 weeks of May, it's been dry, it's rained, then dry again. So now is the perfect time. So without further ado, let's jump into the video and show you the full unadulterated process of how I do a spring clean with passion. So the spring clean, this is where you can let your wildest imaginations run wild. Every year, the elements, the salt and everything else really has free reign to attack your daily driver. Now I drive this car every single day, contrary to popular belief, and I'm going to spend the extra 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 minutes per kind of process to really get into all, you know, the nitty-gritty, all the nooks and crannies, flush everything out and get ready for the next 6 months where the weather is obviously beautiful, it's dry, and there isn't the type of contamination that you would usually find on the roads. Now, of course, the process and the steps really don't change, the order of them. They are identical. So we're going to start with the dirtiest part of the car first. You always do the wheels first. So if there is a process that I will not do or I can't do, I will explain to you why and what you should be doing. So, as I said, wheels first. What I like to do is I like to, first of all, rinse down the whole wheel as thoroughly as you can. I want to see you using the turbo nozzle. Get up into that arch and really take your time. Now, again, here's the first hybrid kind of tip. Both of my arches are plastic. The traditional car will have plastic, rear carpeted. Some cars even have both carpeted. So in terms of plastic, really, like a turbo nozzle, I mean, it's complete overkill, because plastic rinses a lot easier than carpet does. But I'm going to show you the process as to how thorough I'm going to be if I had carpeted arch liners. Of course, point it into the floor first. You don't want a piece of Swiss goodness flying into your paint. Now, if you've seen what I did there, I obviously went this way and then I went that way, but the way I'm arching the gun, I'm hitting that inner lip here. Now that is perfection. So the arches, imagine the vortex that it creates when you're driving. Obviously that's a whole different ecosystem inside there. So just take your time, spend 30 seconds, that's all it takes, and you'll be good. Now, the process that will never change, regardless of what braking system you have, is of course undress. Now, undress, high pH, high cling, even the way it comes out the trigger, you know that it's a special product. That is going to now purge the tires as it's working on it. Now what you're going to see me do, because again, I've got plastic on both arches, I am going to hit everything. Now, traditionally, for all you eagle-eyed viewers, in a second, you're going to see me usually use a product called Wheels. 2-in-1, actual degreasers inside there. It's an absolute killer of a product. Now, because, again, eagle-eyed people, if you can see the designation of that caliper, if you're into that world, you will know that this system is a carbon ceramic system. It's very fragile, it's very expensive, but it's very good. Now, this system does not produce traditional brake dust. So, rather than using a product that has basically zero effect on this specific system, there just happens to be a product that was never meant to see the light of day, and that is called wheel foam. extremely high pH, extremely high cling time, and it purges the carbon ceramics very well. So if you are a person that has normal steel brakes, undress, then you apply wheels, that is going to start reacting extremely heavily. I would still then recommend to over foam everything with the wheel foam. One, it's going to keep the wheels reacting for an indefinite amount of time. You're then going to have a different style of formulation come and hit it, because wheels, neutral, 50% of it's degreasers, 50% of it's reactive. This has got no reaction, maximum pH of 13, and also it purges things that wheels can never purge. And if you've got carbon ceramics, you use the one product, which is wheel foam. But the step that will never change, of course, is the undress. You take it into a very nice foam cannon. No movement. And what you're seeing there is exactly what you want to see. You want that sticky foam, not too thick, not too thin, but you want it to stick. Now at this point, this is where you can take your extra couple of minutes to go and clean probably the worst part of the car during the winter. So already it's been around 3-4 minutes. You could see nothing has changed. So either the high pH is reacting to my wheel surface, or you've got wheels and wheel foam reacting to your surface. And this is at this point where you come in, it's given, you know, every surfactant in there an even chance to do its own even job. You come in, and again, there's no scrubbing required, and literally go right into that barrel and have some fun. Now what I'm also seeing is the tire, and by the way, I've got a very well maintained car. It's not clean, but it's very well maintained. It's still turning brown. And look, there's just no problem with this. Look, I'm going all the way in the barrel. There's just no dramas behind the caliper. Boom, nice. So again, you've got two options at this point. You can either take the fender brush, or you could take the large wheel woolly and get that into your arches. And this is probably one of the more satisfying parts. This is where you've got the most tar buildup, the more salt buildup, especially on the lip. Whatever car you have, I can guarantee you this will be your worst area. I've got some gills in here as well, very deep gills for airflow, and the long bristles really help. Now you could do a manner of things. You could do a phase brush, you could do a wheel mitt. I've got my nice tri-grip detail brush, which I use specifically for the wheels. And at this point, literally put a podcast on and enjoy. I said this is probably one of the most satisfying. I find face cleaning the most satisfying, because usually it's the most intricate and you could really get into all the spokes, calipers. Again, calipers, you'll be surprised, hold a lot of stuff. So this process takes as long as you need to, no rush. And if somebody says it's took you 5 minutes, 10 minutes on a wheel, go and tell them to go and jump in the river. These people are not our friends. I say this is my favorite. This is one of the most satisfying. I tell you, I think wheel cleaning for me is just the ultimate. Wheel and tire cleaning. And then you take, if you can, a very nice, premium, not too hard, not too soft tire brush. And now you exfoliate the tires. Undress, if given the time to work, really emulsifies. It never dissolves anything. Nothing's dissolved, like, or evaporated or anything like that. What it does, it emulsifies, which basically means it's now loose. Now loose undress and loose dressing or whatever else you've got into the tire now can easily be scooped and agitated, because on your next rinse, completely gone. And now you do one of your most thorough rinses you've ever done of this year, and that's to get all the emulsified, all the loose salt, rock, anything like that off the tire. You have one prepped wheel, you have one prepped tire, ready for the next step. Now I'm gonna take one for the team. A big one for the team. I've got a very, very white towel that after this, I will be throwing in the bin. Now, this is to explain to you, you know how well we maintain our cars. So imagine for a person that doesn't maintain their cars that well, especially during winter, washes it once every 2 weeks, once every 4 weeks, maybe does extended mileage over their cleans. The reason I'm saying this is because what you're about to see is on an extremely high maintained example of a daily driver. Now, it only rolls downhill then, because a lot of people through winter, they don't really like to clean their cars as often. Watch this. This is TNR, tar and residue. Now, a lot of tar removers, if we just use the tar word first, contain many harsh chemicals. You don't even need to believe me, you just need to do a basic research, go to page 3 or 4 of Google and see what has happened to people having a drip of a certain brand from Germany, for example, onto a trim, and within 3 seconds, bang, the trim's just gone. Like it melts a hole in the trim, and I can give you a million examples like this. But a lot of these products, the vast majority of them, contain so many harsh raw materials that you do this on a tire, and honestly, yes, it'll work, but then not only is it taking things off it, it's taking the tire with it, the inner barrel, and probably half the car as well at the same time. So when we did this, we took such an eco approach to it. And by the way, it's actually quite easy if you use natural ingredients, because Mother Nature out here has got some of the strongest, you know, completely natural made materials that will actually embarrass man-made things. So tar and residue is completely safe. It's still dwelling on the car, or on the tire, and it's still not drying out, which also designates to you it's got 0 xylene, 0 white spirits. We're the only company on the planet to do this, because everybody else decides to take the cheap approach, the nasty approach, and actually, as a byproduct, shaft you as a consumer and a client, and also shaft the car majorly because they're damaging. So it's been now what, 60 seconds, right? White towel, very, very well maintained car. Right? Let's make this a more manageable piece. If anybody's wondering, this is the beautiful drying air towel that is about to be sacrificed for the boys and girls of YouTube. Drying air towel, you've been a good you've been a good servant. So I'm going to just preload this with 4 sprays. Let the madness commence. So the reason I do this now is I'm removing everything through winter, and at the same time I want to remove whatever dressing I had on here, ready for the next 6-9 months of good to average weather, so I can start rebuilding. Are we ready, guys? All right, oh my Lord. Look at that. Woo. Ooh la la. This is on a well-maintained tire. For reference. Now this is where the real money in your back pocket really begins to accumulate. The residue part is where we're talking. I'm not going to say it's game-changing proprietary. It is game-changing and proprietary, but I'm not going to use those words just to market a product that people already know, is top tier and kind of leads in its class. But the residue part of the name is the completely organic Mother's Nature way of saying, let's go, let's have a fight. And this is what you're seeing on the tire. Now, if you look, it's completely matte. There's no blooming. There's no hazing of anything. There's no whitening of the tire, which again, you have to remove certain things, but you don't want to remove. So antioxidants and all these type of things that manufacturers put within the tire, each one's different, by the way. You don't want to remove them because yes, you may remove it the first time or the second time, but then one day you'll dry your tire and the tire is like white. If you've ever seen a chalky white tire, you don't want to see, because your tire's toast. And what that means is all the moisture's completely gone out of it, all the natural, you know, and the manufacturing moisture that's been embedded in there is gone. And that basically promotes early cracking. Now, I'm not going to say your tire's going to fall apart within 4 miles, but the only thing that puts you in contact with the road, do you really want to run that risk? Personally, I don't. And also, I just don't fancy inhaling strong stuff that is made of nuclear weapons grade material and is harmful to everything that you touch. Tar and residue versus the drying air towel. Guess who won? This is going, by the way, straight in the bin. I'm not even going to attempt to wash this. Straight in the bin, good night. That's it. Let's jump into the next most important step. So, because we are entering pollen season, I still find it, in my process, a lot more comfortable to rinse first. There's a huge argument going on in the industry about, do you rinse first, do you pre-wash first, is it going to dilute the product? Look, there's technicalities to everything. My answer, which can be proven every single time, by the way, not theoretics, because nobody's measured this specific, is this better versus that's better. The way you can measure it is, if you walk up to paint in direct sunlight and see that it's swirl free, it's damage free, you're doing something right, okay? So I'm going to pre-rinse first. I'm going to hit it with citrus at 3-to-1. I'm then going to over foam it with foam. I'm going to put a little bit more in, so I'm going to put 150 mil into the foam cannon, and that's just to increase the roars in the foam and also give it the extra bit of dwell time. Now, if you see, I'm focusing specifically on panel gaps. Here is always a problem where you've got pollen, you've got sticks, obviously you've got salt, all these type of things usually get stuck in there as well. So I see a lot of people rinse as if they're having, like, you know, a problem. Don't do that, please. It gives you absolutely no benefit. Now, before anybody says it, you're holding the pressure washer way too close to your paint. This is specifically set up, so I'm pushing way under 1000 psi at the maximum flow, so I'm actually getting very little pressure coming out of the outlet of this nozzle. So I'm completely safe, and this actually allows me to get even closer like this into the panel gap. If you've got the right setup, it works every time. This is probably the most important step that you could do in paint preservation long term. This will keep your paint looking the best possible, because you're not moving around any sort of dirt that could have been removed touchlessly. So, because I'm known as the local weatherman, I have of course planned the weather to perfection. It's overcast. I do this because I'm going to let all of the products sit as long as possible without the fear of anything drying out. So, foam cannon is a litre. I've got 150 ml in there of foam. I've got 850 ml of water. Of course, you give it a very good shake. Now, what this now does, the citrus has still probably got another 60 seconds of life in it before, obviously, it starts to have the hazard of potentially drying up. So to kind of mitigate that, we're going to over foam it with something that's going to stick. Any of the drip off is going to happen, any of the excess, and what you're going to see is dwell. Now, for me, dwell, some people don't agree with this, but for my process, dwell is important, because I have got a world-class product here right now in the paint, eating everything. I want a product on top to be not as strong or stronger. I want a product that has one specific job, is to stick. So this has one job, this has one job. This isn't a mix, you know, high pH, ultra high pH, all these kind of things that people are now going with. A chemical bath has to be done in a correct way, and you don't want to double up all the products. You want actually independent formulations to do their independent jobs. So this will easily get about 10 minutes of dwell time. I'm not going to obviously sit here and speak to 10 minutes just to show you it, but if you've used this, even at 100 ml in weather like this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Just one pass, boom. Now, if you've got any spoilers, if you've got any retractable spoilers, put them up. Obviously, I've got a fixed wing because I'm Lewis Hamilton, apparently. So, in terms of this, I'm going to get under it. If you've got a retractable spoiler, get under it. This is where usually all the crud likes to sit. Now, about 7.5, 8 minutes in, look at this work of art. This system, how you customize it to your own needs, is just beautiful. I mean, just look, apart from here, where the water's dripping from the door jamb, this is a drain hole on this specific model of car. Everything else is not moving. So, I'm ready to rinse. I feel comfortable. And now again, really take your time, get into the panel gaps. If you need to take an extra 60 seconds, 2 minutes, whatever it may be, take it. This is very important because the next stage obviously is the contact wash. So, you know I'm a big proponent of the double foam method. Now, instead of putting wash through a foam cannon, we're going to be putting reset. So I've got 150 ml of reset to, again, 850 ml of water. Now this will drop the pH right enough as a perfect pre-soak. So think about what you've just done. The alkaline side of the pre-wash has removed salt, greases, etc. But now what's left behind is potentially water spotting, sodium chloride spotting. Quick story, last year, didn't have the chance to wash this for about 3 weeks. It was just rain, snow, rain, snow. Finally washed it and I looked, and right on the back of the spoiler, there was a lot of sodium chloride, so salt, spotting. And I was like, okay, wasn't worried because we've got this. Did the exact method you're about to see. So I foamed it on, let it soak as I'm washing the car with 100 ml of reset in the bucket. Now this is specifically designed for one of the 3 jobs that I'm talking about, is removing mild water spotting. So as I foam this on, think about it, the acidity of this solution, think about it as a car shampoo with bite, because a lot of people get confused. What is reset? What does it do? Basically, imagine a car shampoo with a hell of a bite. So that's going to now start dwelling. So I'm going to show you. That's now dwelling on the car. It's now instantly beginning to attack and dissolve, emulsify. And then as I come in with my wash pad with more reset, what that's going to do is like literally break it all down completely, and it'll be removed during the rinse. So 150 ml in the foam cannon. I had a berry drop in here once, and you know, after you see it after 3-4 days, you wash, there was like a circle, reset through a foam cannon, bang, it was gone. This is a ridiculous product. Again, this will dwell as long as you need it to during your wash. And again, this has been specially made to dwell with a ton of acidity behind it. As you can see, this don't format like a car shampoo. Even though it is a car shampoo, there are certain things you can do to make it dwell even longer, because at the end of the day, what is the point in a product to dissolve? Imagine this, just think about it. Any industry, when you put something on the surface, bleach, if bleach was to dry out in 13 seconds, the bleach is not having time to do its thing. It could be a glass cleaner, it could be toothpaste, I mean, like literally anything, skin masks. And this is the thing, what a lot of people seem to misconstrue. They just chase power. You try and dilute that power down any further, and you're just getting, you know, a runny milkshake that goes whoop, like this. When if you look at what the product is designed to do, it's not getting a chance to do it because it's not having the surfactant break it down, emulsify it, whatever, react. Whatever the product category will be, it doesn't have yet that chance. Okay, so in the bucket you've got 20 litres of water, you've got 100 ml of reset. We're in below 4 pH at my water level. Beautiful. So got 4 pH in the bucket, which is an absolute ripper. You've got around 5 pH on the car now after the dilution of the foam cannon and whatever water's on there. I have measured this, that's why I'm telling you the number. I dripped it all off during testing into a kind of like a jug and a beaker, and obviously tested it. So right now we're, whatever you see here in the setup, in the acidic scale, this is now doing a different type of decon, it's doing a different type of emulsification, and all you've got to do is treat it like a car shampoo. This is such a phenomenal product. I mean, the way it washes is crazy. Now imagine you've had something bonded, you've now dislodged it, obviously it hasn't evaporated, it's still on the surface, right? But it's loose. Then you take your very beautiful, very safe tri-fiber wash pad and you're agitating. This is what you call true power. You can have something that is super strong but has no potential of staining. That's literally what a premium product can do. Rather than coming in like you've heard me for now 6 years saying, don't come in and do this. That's not the job. Look, you're a painter. Paint the product over the surface and you're done. That's it. And here's also another unbelievable pro hack for you. Not only is it important on doing a spring decon wash, but also during your maintenance washes. Imagine you've got reset in here, you've got wash, it really doesn't matter. I've got my paint Spec detailing brush already in the bucket. Look, it's soaking, not doing nothing. I've already washed it, I've dislodged it, and look, I'm just going to go around the panel gap real quick, because at that point I'm not pushing any rock. The panel's clean. Look, you know, inside the wing mirror, if that's what you want to do, if you want to do it here, it's washed. You're not doing anything else to it. So any of these rubber seals, that's it. If you want to do it even faster, imagine this hasn't been washed, right? Imagine I pull both out together, I'm washing this, and as I'm washing, I could literally move it in line with a wash pad, any of the panel gaps that you wish. This is a really, really good trick. Take your time. This is one of these processes, like I keep on saying, you don't do this weekly, you don't do this monthly. If you need to be a little bit more sure of where you're hitting, don't forget, when you're driving at 70 miles an hour behind a truck, have you seen all that spray? Just imagine everywhere where that's getting. Well, that's your car for 6 months. Take that extra little bit of time. Got loads of holes in here. I take my brush. Look at that. I learned this many, many years ago. I thought, well, what happens when you dip a really nice detailing brush in your bucket solution? Well, it's heaven. Again, under your windscreen wipers, that's the type of contaminant that you're working with. As obvious as it seems, not a lot of people do this. I'm about to throw this wash pad in the washing machine in its state. As you can see, it's still perfectly clean, right? But before I do that, with whatever you've got in the bucket, so imagine reset, you come in and you give this the same contact wash. Now I do this every wash, by the way. So if you've got any accumulated water spotting, this will literally get right through, get everywhere, get in all the gaps, get into the door hinges, get the wash pad. Absolutely disgusting. But I'm going to show you now, this is what a disgusting wash pad in my process looks like. It's not. It's completely clean. And that's because what you've just seen me do in this step, I do every single maintenance wash, irrespective whether it's a neutral shampoo or an acidic shampoo. So go around all, like your boot jams, door jams, wash. If you do pick up and your wash bar becomes black, 45 minutes in the washing machine with no anything at all, like literally how it comes, boof. It's already got the cleaning solution in there because of the kind of car shampoo. Let the machine and the product do the business, and that's it. We're ready for a rinse. Now I'm going to give you a nice wide angle of the rinse. Most of the work is almost done. Again, make sure you flush all the panel gaps. This is where the detergents, the alkalis, the acids had the chance now to dislodge. This is your job with the pressure washer like this, is to get rid of everything. So if it takes you 10 minutes to rinse, 12 minutes, whatever it is, take it. This is a very rare chance that you give your car a chemical bath like this, so why not enjoy it? So now come the what's called the chemical and mechanical decons. Before you go onto your paint with a clay bar, clay towel, a clay block like this, why not remove as much as you can chemically, you know, almost touchlessly without actually grinding something in. So again, this is a hybrid tip again for you. This car is PPF'd and PPF works on glue. So I'm not going to go now indiscriminately and start spraying this, right? If you have got PPF, like I have, what I would recommend is you do what's called a control method of application. So as if you're waxing the car. So instead of going pa 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 everywhere, I'm going to actually spray directly onto the towel and massage it into the paint. But let's say on our GTI, or if you've got a car that hasn't got PPF, imagine you come in and you do a carpet bomb of the whole car, just go top to bottom and just spray it everywhere, let it do its business, and then you will come in with a towel if you want to kind of give it that little bit extra bite and come and agitate like this, right? So you do this, then you rinse it and you're done. In my case, I almost can't do that. And then next comes the iron removal step. So even though this doesn't generate brake dust, there's still ambient brake dust in the air. It'll land, it'll eventually, something has to stick. No matter how well or how not well your car is protected. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a tar and residue treatment all over the car, and then I'm going to rinse it, and then I'm going to do an iron removal step using our wheels. Now the beautiful thing about wheels is 50% of that bottle, imagine, is going to come and react. So if you've got a light colored car, you'll see the traditional purple. But what you will not be able to see is the other 50% actually attacking anything that you've potentially missed. So it's a degreaser, right? And then if you do have say a clay towel, clay block, I've seen a lot of Americans actually do this. This is more of an American method. They'll actually use a traditional fallout remover as a kind of a clay lubricant, so you could spray it and you can come in and you can start agitating. So you have to kind of use it as per kind of what your eyes see. If your car's covered, I wouldn't personally do it. If you know it's like a light contaminated car, you could probably do that. And the one thing I will not be able to do after I do those 2 chemical steps, I am not going to clear the car, because I don't know if you saw during most of my washes when I'm doing my maintenances, once the panel's clean, I will come and I'll feel the car. If I can't feel any crunchies, I am not clearing the car. It is not a guaranteed step. If you need to do it, do it. If you don't need to do it, don't do it. I'm tired of people saying you've got to clear your car 1st of June and then 31st of December. Why do you have to do it? If your car is not there to be contaminated or decontaminated, why do you have to do it? It's like you don't go to the dentist and get your tooth knocked out every time. If you don't have to, then they won't do it. So I won't be clearing this car. But if I were you and you do daily and you can feel crunches on your paint, 100% clear it. So again, no, I'm indiscriminately doing this. So basically I'm coming in now and I'm wiping as if I'm doing a detail spray. I'm keeping away from the edges the very best I can, and I'm going to just continue around the car doing this. So I went around the whole car, wiped it on as if I'm almost waxing it, keeping, you know, 1/2 inch off the edges. Done. Car's detarred. Why do I do tar first? Because tar traditionally is in a bowl, if you ever see it, especially the big pieces, whereas traditionally, again, iron fallout is little filings. So there's more of a chance of lots of filings like this being trapped inside a ball of tar, right? Obviously at a much smaller scale than that. So a lot of people who then do iron and then tar, again, there's not really a wrong way of doing it, but there's more of a success chance. You're closer to 100% of doing tar than an iron removal. Now at this point, I don't have to be indiscriminate, right? I can literally come in now and that was the whole car. So wheels, I'm going to go from top to bottom, being very generous with the spray, and anything ambient that has hit the car is going to react, of course. I'm not going to agitate. I'm going to let it just do its business and then rinse. So let's do this. You won't catch me rinsing. Where you will catch me at the next point is inside, because after I rinse this, I'm going to just quickly foam it with like a pH neutral, either foam or pH neutral wash, just to neutralize if there's anything in the gaps, anything that obviously the water hasn't got. The detergent within the foam or the shampoo will obviously take through the gaps and remove it. So I will see you inside after I do a very heavy iron removal step. Okay, so now the car's dry. We've done really 99% of the hard work. We've done the wet work, as I call it, the difficult work. For you, drying a car that has been fully deconned, clayed, is probably the worst experience to dry it after that, because technically there should be nothing left on the paint, or very minimal amounts. Now at that point outside, you could have gone one of two ways. You could have used a general purpose sealant, so for your glass, for your wheels, and for your paint, called Foam Plus. You could have put 100 ml of that into the foam cannon, coated the whole thing and maintained it that way without drying aid. But because what I'm doing is I want to put a little bit more dedicated protection on each surface. So the wheels got a ceramic spray sealant as a drying aid. The paint is about to get the spray sealant. I'm rebuilding that base on top of my coating. And then the glass is going to get a fresh layer of Glass Plus. Now, a lot of people may ask, so if you've got a coating, for example, you're going to say, Nick, why didn't you use Foam Plus? I am. So out of, they say, the 12 weeks, if we work off a yearly quarter, so 3 months, 12 weeks, I'm going to do this on the first week of the quarter. That is my kind of personal regimen and what I would personally recommend. The other 11 weeks, what you're going to see me use on your future, say, maintenance washers and wash and chats, you're going to see me use Foam Plus literally everywhere, because it's going to hit everything and maintain my protection. Now, the ceramic spray sealant, if this is your base, as in you've got nothing else on the car, you will about to feel where you have been and where you haven't been. You've seen me just do one spray. Your job, literally, just spread it. Spread it, no haste time, no cure time, remove it. Whether you want to go in straight lines like this or in circles, really doesn't matter. Now, this is most likely the weakest spray sealant that you will ever use in your life. Nick, why are you so proud of having the weakest spray sealant in the world? And that is because the user experience, to me, is a lot more important than having to use 57 different towels. Now, don't forget guys, I'm a normal person that still has to wash cars. I wash all of our fleet of vehicles. And what you see me doing here right now, look, I wish there could be like some sort of technology where you could see the pressure through the screen. I've got no pressure on here. If you're that old school person that wants to do it in circles, fine. The user experience, the clarity that this brings is just, the darkening effect on the paint is unbelievable. And the slickness, trust me, you will know where you've been or you haven't been. So even though I'm coated, I know exactly where I've been. And the towel, it bunches up under my fingers. I can feel it. So slick, 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 a bit grabby, yeah? And these products that advertise your 12 months protection, even if they do get to the 12-month stage, you've got a lot of solvents in there. There's a lot of things called solvent popping, which if you don't know what that is, it will come back and bite you in a couple of hours. You'll come back to the car and be like, I'm sure I've just wiped this. Just keeps gassing itself off. I don't like that. I would rather apply it a handful of times extra a year, chill like I'm chilling right now, not even have to worry. My grandmother can do this. Unless you're one of 3 or 4 reviewers, real reviewers in the world of detailing products, you never run a durability test. Let's be honest, guys, come on. You are enthusiasts who want the best look out of a car, right? Let's be honest. Everything in life that you do should have a direct correlation to a result. You don't do it just for the crack. Or if you're a pro detailer, you are there to top, say, a coating, right? Pro detailers don't really do a base protection with a water-based sealant. You want to be topping a real coating with something super nice. Something like this, that if you're on a time scale or a time frame, you've got nothing to worry about. So this is the ceramic spray sealant that I always like to use on the first week of the quarter. The other 11 weeks, like I've already said, are going to get the foam plugs exclusively. The wheels, again, I dried off camera. I literally took 2 of my wheel and tire towels, dried them off. I mean, if you can see this, by the way, the rubber on this, it's just absolutely beautiful, right? Sticky, but not sticky, just ready for that +1 thickness of Dress V2 moisturizer, and you're going to be in business. So as a pure precaution right now, I'm just going to be giving the glass a panel wipe treatment. I'm not cleaning glass, glass is clean. If you guys clean glass after you've washed the car on the exterior, you haven't washed the car properly because it doesn't need cleaning. But when it comes to actually slightly prepping the surface, so I know there's already Glass Plus in here, by the way, okay? The way the glass was, reacting with water is unbelievable. But like I said, I'm not trying to run a durability claim at this point. The product's been tested. I know how good it is. I'm just now topping up on top of things. But before I do that, I just like to give it a little bit of a, not a clean, just a deeper prep, let's call it. Deeper prep. And by the way, no word of a lie, this initial application of Glass Plus was from the original takeover video. On the side and on the back, again, top of here, top of there. I'm being completely transparent with you, but still, to have it last, what is it now, 2 years on the sides from a sealant, you know you're dealing with a special formula. So the glass is even more sticky now. I'm going to just throw in obviously a quick, super quick application of Glass Plus, and we're done. Now today I'm using our Plush Applicator Mini. This applicator is a work of art. Yes guys, I've lost my mind before you say you're talking about an applicator, Nick. Yes, I love what I do, get over it. This is a work of art. So you've seen our much larger applicators. We've completely shrunk this down for what's coming later in the year. Basically our final wipe towel, wrapped around our wax hex grip, exterior foam, beautiful. So I'm just going to show you, if you are worried about an application of this is a sealant. You could do it outside, you could do it inside, instant wet time. This for a sealant, masterpiece. Now if you're scared of, you know, oh my god, I'm using the sealant for the first time, don't worry. I'm going to show you, if you really want to do it one piece at a time in terms of glass, I'm going to show you exactly what to do. So imagine you're on your driveway right now. You are a little bit nervous because your first time. It's cool, don't worry about it. Everybody had to do their first ever kind of go. So look, I've wiped it on. I'm going to quickly explain to you what I normally do, and it'll give it time to cure. So what I normally do is I like to go around the whole car, and literally, but by that time it's ready to go. If you're not happy, then literally one at a time, around 30 seconds minimum gives the time. You see me, look, a couple of little sprays. The reason I'm not spraying it now on the glass is because everything's clean, everything's beautiful. I'm trying to mitigate a little bit of overspray. Literally go through a glass cleaning step now. Imagine you're just cleaning glass. So you wipe it on. I mean, proofs in the video. I don't actually need to go any further. So we've built this again to be very easy to use. All right, wipe on, wipe off. Now when you're wiping off, you'll feel real great slickness, really beautiful. So we do this. That, guys, is honestly, I'm going to quote on the sides, apart from if you go to automatic scratch and shines, which will rip it off in one wash. If you're washing the car yourself, you're talking easily 12 months from a sealant that you've just done now. I can hit water with it now and it's absolutely beautiful. So you'll go around the whole of your glass, windscreen, etc., etc. That's your glass sealed, beautiful. I like to do my side mirrors too. And then the very last step, again, the car's going to sit now. I'm going to do a very, very heavy application of Dress V2 because you've seen what I've already done. Obviously, I've removed everything that I could possibly do. I've even sacrificed final drying aids here, though black. So the tire is ready. It's porous. It's ready to accept a fresh 3-4 months of weekly moisturizing effect kind of product. We're going to do that and we're going to be on our way. And then the very final step, to me, this is where the magic really happens. Like I've already said, your tires are in a good stead to receive a really nice first moisturizing of the season, as I call it. So what I like to do, a little bit more than usual. And this will actually, this is a foolproof way when people, there's a lot of questions, Nick, why more than usual? Because when you slightly over apply only on the rubber will actually tell you exactly when it's full. And I don't like doing 2 coats of this, if I'm completely honest, because it is a moisturizer, it's not a dressing. If it was a dressing, you could do 15 layers back to back, and that's obviously a different answer. But because this isn't a dressing, I don't want to put a secondary layer on that isn't penetrating as well, because obviously there's already something underneath it. Whereas the first layer, it will tell you, Nick, John, Michael, whatever, Eddie, Jamie, it will literally say, I've absorbed too much and there's excess on the tire. Please wipe me down. And this is the only reason I tell you on
certain times of your process, just a little bit more. It's only a few drops, nothing major. Just make sure you work it in. Treat this like your wife, your girlfriend, a massage. And that's it. I mean, look, with everything that you've just seen me apply, quite a lot, look at that. There's just no high spots. So the rubber's a need, let's put it that way. And you go around the whole vehicle, and if you can, so I'm leaving this stationary for 24 hours, whether it's outside, whether it's inside, doesn't matter. Let the soak and let the product do the business. When something just hits right, you've got the right prep process, you've got the right aftercare process, life just gets better, guys. Please tell me I'm wrong in the comments, please. It's just too beautiful. I love doing a spring clean as well because, I don't know, it puts me in a really good mood because the weather is warmer. There's less rain, there's less wind. I think, well, I don't think, I know it's now a scientific fact. People are happier, right, in the sun. So when the temperatures peak, people seem to smile a little bit more. And I just love it. It kind of, to me now, cars summer ready, or late spring, early summer ready. And it's just a breeze to maintain. And the more you do the maintenance side, the better it gets, literally. And there you have it, guys. This is my version of a spring clean that I do every single year. I have slightly manipulated the process in my favor because I didn't clay the car, okay? It's got PPF, it's got coating. Can I clay a car of this kind of level of protection? Absolutely. But like I've already mentioned, when I walk around and I feel parts of the car, primarily here where, you know, the traditional buildup is kind of accumulated, there is no contaminants to clay. So why clay? I'm a big proponent of preventative maintenance rather than reactive maintenance. Why would I willingly go and put an abrasive compound, which clay of any manner, synthetic or organic clay, is a abrasive compound? Then I would have to potentially polish it, recoat. Why? Don't need to do it. So if your car needs claying off the back of this video, if you follow my exact process down to a T, then go and clay it. If you don't need to clay it, literally just do the chemical decon, tar, wheels, in that order, and you'll be good. But hopefully this has helped some of you guys. A lot of people always get confused in what order do I do things, and then you start throwing to them deep clean, decon, protective wash. All of a sudden people are like, oh. But if you've watched us long enough, you'll know that most of the step that I have done, you've seen me do a million times. So nothing at the very, core level of car care changes. I just added tar and wheels. Great. I didn't do a drying aid, so I removed the drying aid from the process because I did a coating topper, or in your case, if you haven't got a coating, you've done your base layer, which is this ceramic spray sealant. Apart from that, nothing changes. If you right now, I can see a question in the comments coming in already. Nick, can I go and wipe the car down with your drying aid right now to make it really pop? Hell yeah, you can. Why not? Go and take your wax and sealant towel, paint towel, final wipe towel, whatever it is. Wipe it over. Your job's a good one. So you manipulate the process to your order, but 9 times out of 10, the products and the steps go in the same way. So please let me know how you enjoyed this video. Has it helped you? That's the most important one. And if it has or it hasn't, just let me know in the comments. If you'd like me to include a deeper version of something that I've already spoken about, happy to do so. I need to film another 1.2 thousand videos, so that is easy. I'll just put that into the rotation of what I need to film. And apart from that, guys, I hope you have a wonderful weekend that is coming up. And if you are watching this in the future, I hope you've had a good weekend many times, and I'll see you all very soon, guys. I love you.